All right, we'll call this meeting to order, Ambulance Authority meeting, February 20th, 2025. All members are present except
Dr. Keel.
Keel, Jeff Keel. All right. Approving the agenda. Has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda? Seek for a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. All in favor, by saying aye. Okay, no opposed. Public comments. We've already seen that nobody wants to comment today, so we'll move on to the next one. Approve modified previous meeting minutes. I know we didn't meet last month, so we'll be approving the ones previous to that, so if I can get a motion in a second.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
And a second. Do we have any changes? Everything looks good?
That's good.
Okay. Everything looks good. All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
All right. That's approved. We got 2 months worth of write-offs and bad debts. What was the amounts on those two there? Somebody got it going around?
Yeah, you had one total, for January was $8,284.97.
Okay.
And, February was listed at $5,322.63.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the write-offs.
We have a motion to approve. Second.
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 We have a second. All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
All right. And quarterly financials, hadn't heard nothing. I mean, you got them there, you can look at them. I hadn't heard anything. Everything's probably running smooth as
I've not heard
Should
anything
be.
from her as well. Don't see anything that looks out of whack.
if y'all don't have anything to talk about on that, we'll move on from the quarterly financials. And we go to the director's report.
So we didn't do a PowerPoint, because of a time constraints that we're under today. But you do have the ESO report, 1,014 calls for January. Out of counties picked up a little bit at 7. Other than that, the stations, Manchester 560, South 205, Tullahoma North 171, New Union 76. Those are all well within their normals. The comm center has a new CAD system, and our shoot times are a little up, and I think that's just an issue of getting the right time off the CAD. I don't know if they're getting the call received versus the call dispatched, but there's a few seconds that they're a little up. They're still not bad, but they're enough up across the board that makes me think there's a CAD problem, and I just hadn't had time to get with Bob to see. I think the captains are trying to work on figuring out what time are they using, and is that where our issue is. Other than that, everything else is well within its normals.
No, how about staffing problems or anything like that?
Staffing is much better. We are running 5 crews. Okay, right now, sickness has got us worse than anything. Staffing wise, we've only got 2 full-time openings available. But staffing day-to-day struggles because people,
So remind me,
Sorry.
we were at, was it 8 or 13 full-time openings before?
well, it's been 8 for a long
Okay,
time,
I
7 and
remember it was
8.
one of the two, but it was
Yeah.
8, so we're down to just 2.
Right now, there are 2 full-time openings, and technically I can't fill them because we have 2 out on comp. And so I can't fill those openings. I can staff them, with part-time, but I can't fill them because I got 2 people out on comp. And so they're guaranteed a spot back should they come back.
Are they paramedic positions?
One of each, one paramedic,
How-
one AMT.
Is there an estimated time frame on return of the other 2?
No, both of them have been out for an extended period, and I anticipate that to continue to be an extended period.
At what point does an extended period, is that position
When work
released for
comp
hiring?
pays them out and says we're done.
Is there
I don't get any say-so.
Well, I know,
That could
I'm
be a
not
while.
asking
That
for
could
a
be a while.
say-so, I'm just
That could be
asking, is that a
while.
HR question that they can find out through the work comp and find out
I
if
don't-
there's a,
No, if work comp, I don't know what.
I mean,
when
work comp usually goes
finally
through
gives up
HR.
And says, hey, let's just call you disabled and settle. I know at some point they do, but I don't know.
But that's a
what
long
they base that
process.
on.
Right, I've been on the other side
I
of
mean,
it,
we'll
the
try to-
physician
we
side,
can
but I just
ask
didn't know from
HR
a
and
business
see.
side how
Right.
long
Are
they.
they planning on coming back that you know of?
Both
Or you
of
don't
them
know?
say yes.
Okay.
But one of them, both of them been out probably a year.
At least.
One of them's had multiple well, both of them have had multiple surgeries. So,
Yep. Just puts us in a bind, I mean, you know,
Yeah, a whole year.
I
Yep,
know.
workman's comp
Yeah.
normally does.
So, but all that to say, we are staffing 5 trucks much more regularly
Okay.
than.
And the only reason I brought that up is I had somebody call and complain last week about one day last week, he had 3 people, or 3,
I think
units.
people call out one day, I know.
well, he had 3 units and maybe had a call here and call there, and they was wondering if y'all 2 were filling in. So we are still doing that, correct?
I was out last week and part of this week, because my wife and daughter both have COVID currently.
And what are you doing here? You
Well,
giving it to
I'm
us?
trying not to get near y'all.
Okay. Um,
Um,
And that's the only
and
reason
so
I
know
brought
there was
that up.
day
Right.
while I was out that we
You,
were short.
was it that day? Okay, all right.
So,
But y'all are still getting on the truck when you need to be?
Yep.
Okay,
it's just
all right.
been much rarer, thank goodness, that we are,
yeah, two openings is great
oh yeah. I'm
compared
real-
to where we've been.
Real happy with that. And we are weaning down the number of basics and replacing them with AEMTs. So that, you know, originally we had to have an AEMT and a medic on every truck, and then as the shortage happened, they loosened the standard to allow basics, then they allow drivers. So now we're not doing any drivers, and we're not hiring any new basics, and we're telling the current basics, you gotta get that advanced, or I'm gonna have to replace you with an advanced, because,
But you got more ALS trucks than you've had in the past.
yes,
You're not running as many BLS trucks.
correct.
Is that correct?
Yep, now there's still one that I know of. Every shift, that crew is a BL.
Right.
I mean, they have an advance, okay, so semantics, the state says if there's an AEMT on that, that's an advanced life support truck.
Right,
They didn't used to say that,
but saying it now.
but now, because they've increased the number of things that a AEMT can do, they are classifying that as an ALS truck. Makes
All right.
sense? So technically, they're ALS, because there's at least advanced EMT on every one of them. But that's a semantic thing that didn't used to be. In other words,
Right,
I don't want it to sound like I'm saying something different than what it used to be. I mean, I am, because the state has changed
the
that
state
designation.
changed their
Right,
view on that,
yeah.
so.
So when I say it, I understand there are still some days that an AEMT is that ALS truck.
What was the big change in state protocol that enabled that? Was it push drugs or
I mean, they've added a
ALS?
couple of drugs that they could push. I really did not see all these amazing changes that they talk about, that there was talk about. Because most all of that was there already anyway. I went through those things, I can't count the number of times. And I just didn't see tremendous increase in what they could do. A couple of drugs, really, Paul, do you remember, other than a couple of drugs that they used to couldn't push, was the big thing that they gained. They can do a 12 lead, but they can't interpret it, they can't treat based on it. They can just do it and transmit it to a hospital. Okay, I mean, that didn't help the patient any, in my opinion, because they can't do any more. So,
It just tells the hospital what's coming, I guess.
yeah,
and,
which helps them.
Which helps them when they get
Uh,
there.
But that was added. So, okay, you know, I just didn't see what I thought was the amazing improvements that they were all claiming were there. But I read them, 'cause I was out last week, and I read them, and then reread them, and then made the changes that we, figured out, and so read them again, and I just didn't see it.
Okay. All right, is that all for Michael? Anybody got any more questions? Okay. Any unfinished business? Moving on to the next one. There's none on here, but evidently we don't have any. We'll move on to new business. Administrative closing, comp hours for EMS personnel.
The county handbook, and you should have a copy in your paperwork, states that should the mayor create an administrative closing, as he did for the last snow day, excuse me, during these additional days, administrative closing personnel of the emergency services, to include Sheriff's Department, EMS, EMA, and the Communication Center, will remain open, but will receive comp time hours, 4 hours worked in addition to the normal pay. So when we sent that down to payroll, they're like, y'all don't get comp time. And I'm like, you're right. Historically, the employees have never gotten comp time. But in your handbook, it states that they will. So, gotta do something. So, this board needs to, quite frankly, say we will abide by the county handbook is really all we need to say, or come up with an alternative, in which case we would have to change the county handbook. Now, obviously, the easiest thing would just be to add 24 hours to the PTO time that they already have and we already track, and there's already a system in place. But I assume your people get comp time, so I assume we could add
Yeah, I
a
think-
comp time,
I think ambulance is the only one that don't EMS.
but yet here it plainly states that we
Yeah.
will.
But what I'm saying,
But historically,
because
we
when I
have
talked to
not.
you, that's when you said we don't get comp time.
Yeah, we've never done
Yeah, I
comp
think
time.
y'all were the only department that don't.
So, to me, we just need to add a comp time column and give it to them, like the handbook says that we will.
Basically, it would be the same as PTO, just
Yeah.
a different name.
Exactly.
I mean, they deserve it. I
So,
don't think the 911 center gets comp time anymore, do they, Tim?
No.
So,
I
I
don't
mean,
think
that's basically what they get, I think, is a PTO day.
and I'm okay, again, it just needs to, we either need to
reworded.
change how it's worded here or abide by how it's worded here, one or the other. The difference for us is if we give somebody time off, comp time, we have to pay somebody else to work while they're off, because we still need that ambulance. Whereas some departments can just work short that day when that one person is taking their comp time. But then again, that's the same for vacation and sick, so I don't care, but they all are owed from that last time because budget did not do anything. So we need to fix it and put it in the next pay period that they get whatever we're giving them.
Well, I'm just gonna throw this recommendation out here, just to be throwing it out here. If anything, I know what this reads, but any monies or anything like that probably have to go through budget and finance. But if we're gonna do any changes here or leave it the same or whatever, it needs to go before policy and procedure. Does that make sense?
It does, except I went to policy and procedures and they looked at me like, why are you bringing this to us? Because HR told me to. They completely.
When
threw
did
it
you
right
go to
back on
policy and
you.
procedures?
Whenever their last meeting was a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
Yep. And
And they knocked it back?
they had no idea why I was before them and said that this board needed to handle it. I will say, or I will ask,
I don't see how, I mean, we can handle it, but I don't see why it wouldn't go back to policies and procedures. And,
I don't know.
And-
Matter of fact, it was the mayor's birthday, whatever date that was the meeting day.
right,
Whenever he had a little luncheon and it was that night. Does it take full commission to change the handbook now? What does it take to change a handbook?
Yes.
yes,
So procedurally, it would be a whole lot easier for us just to add a comp time column than to go through the 12 steps to get full commission. That's my only, as far as just the easiest way to get this done, is just to say, okay, add comp time to our list and carry on. But if we do it any other way, then we've got to change the handbook.
What's y'all's idea? What do y'all think about it?
Well, if they don't want, if they kicked it back to us, I'd say we'd change it, and then if somebody doesn't like it, we can address it at that point.
And I may be wrong on all this stuff, but where I work, when we work 24, 48, whenever they close, correct me if I'm wrong, since you're here, in holidays and when we got days like that that were closed, we got compensated, but it was only compensated for 8 hours. Is that not correct? Or have y'all changed that since then?
Staff got 8 hours.
Huh?
Staff got 8 hours, and then the on-shift personnel got 16.25, because
That's the hours that
That's
they
their
work.
full day,
Right.
because they don't pay
Okay.
at night.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I only got 8 hours. But anyway, but
Well, if the easiest is just to say we will follow the county handbook personnel, then that's what I say we do, is just say.
Okay.
And add a
follow.
comp time
Yeah.
And
column.
they just need to add a comp time column.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how anybody could argue that, because it's
Yeah.
plainly already stated.
whatever y'all want to do, we can,
We need
Make
a
it-
motion for that.
I'll take anything that y'all
I'll make a
agree
motion
on.
that we follow the handbook.
Second.
Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Do, any more discussion on it? All right, all in favor saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
I mean, that's the easiest way to handle that.
To me, yeah. And we
It's
just-
already in there, so just follow it.
Exactly.
Hard to catch flack.
And then
Yeah.
next month, we can have another one and say, and this time we mean it.
Yeah.
But would this be not, let me ask this, would this not be a money matter?
It-
Technically?
Technically, yes, but, so, just like on vacation, and those hired after 2014. So, I don't know the breakdown on the 2014 matter with sick time,
Right,
but vacation time, you're gonna get paid out. If you leave,
you're getting paid.
you're gonna get paid out. And if there's, if they say, if the county wants to say, well, okay, the stipulation is you don't get comp time unless it's this, hey, that's fine. It's all gonna be straight time anyway. There's gonna be no figuring of time and a half that I worked
Right.
extra
Right.
to figure my comp time at time and a half.
Just straight time.
It's all gonna be straight time anyway. So, I mean, really and truly, you're getting paid for it either way.
Right, okay.
I mean, so,
So, I mean, it shouldn't, since we're just going by what the policies and
That's already
procedures
kinda
say,
built in
it's
there.
already there, so.
cause y'all get vacation and sick, just like the rest of us, so.
And that's the only thing they can bill comp time on, right? You all don't have comp time. That's the only thing they'll be getting comp time
Yes,
for,
yeah,
so.
that's the only comp time.
And there was
So-
an
Building
attempt.
up a lot of
How many
comp
times
time.
does that happen through the year?
Right, because you're only
A
talking
few.
about when the mayor calls
Maybe
a
once,
closing.
twice, 3 times a year. I think the most I've ever seen it done is 3 days
Most.
in a row, the most.
Right.
And it's only gonna affect the office, right? I mean, we still got medics showing up for work. It's not like.
Right,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they're getting comp time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Those
Don't
that
count-
work that
Get-
day
Right.
get.
This don't take into account
Like with us,
holidays or
the
anything
officers
like
that work there, the day that it's closed, get the comp time. If you're off, you were off anyway, so you don't get it.
All right, what about holidays?
Oh, that's automatically thrown on your check.
That's automatically in there anyway?
Yeah, that's automatically thrown in there anyway.
Okay, it's just when the mayor says, all right, we got
Bunch of snow.
12 inches of
ice,
snow, we're not
whatever.
Yeah, I
opening
got
up today.
yeah.
Or when he makes a
2
special
foot of snow,
administrative
we're closing
closing.
the county today,
Right. Okay,
so.
Is there a requirement on how soon they have to use comp time, to your knowledge? Okay.
No, there's just a max. I
there's a
think
max you
it's
can build,
Okay.
two something in
Yeah.
280,
Can't imagine that's
244.
gonna be-
Something like that, 240,
So, yeah,
280.
you know, like, 10 years worth of one day
Right.
snow days,
Yeah.
you've maxed out.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I think it is. I think ours is like 244,
Yeah.
something like that, because regular folk is like 100 and something.
And it's only gonna affect the people that are actually working that day.
And there again, it's every blue moon, so.
Yeah. I think let's do that, and then if somebody has a problem, they'll let us know.
I'm sure they will. Okay,
I
All
have
right.
one other little thing. it's just a clarification.
Nothing's ever a little thing here.
Use it. The stipend money is finally flowing.
Oh, your in-service?
Yes.
Okay.
Does that change anything in any of our previous discussions about how we do that? Like, like right now, if they go to a class that costs $100, we pay the $100. We did that several meetings long before the
I don't
stipend.
think that has anything to do with it.
Okay, that's why I wanna make
Yeah,
sure
I
that.
don't think that has.
Is this like the
anything.
in-service
That-
money?
But I do, since you brought that up, so $800, just like we do, just like we get. Do you have any medics, anybody working that works for 2 ambulance services full-time?
Yes. They can only dip once.
They can only dip once. Somebody's gonna have to try to keep up with who are you claiming as your primary one?
Yeah,
And I think, who's doing it? You?
right now, me.
Okay, is it called a CADIS that you have to go into?
No.
Y'all got a different system?
Yes.
Okay, so a CADIS will not let you have 2 officers in under 2 departments at the same time. So
Oh.
it kind of fixes itself.
Right.
I don't know about now that you said it's different.
Yeah.
You might need to ask them, hey, just to make sure, because I'm sure that's where they're gonna pull the list to say, here's everybody, because you've got to put in their training hours and all that stuff to make sure they meet the criteria. Yeah, that's how ours is on the CADIS, and then says, yes, you qualify for your in-service. Make sure that it won't let, Coffee County and Cannon County have the same person in there, and then they're getting $1,600.
Yeah, double dipping.
Yeah,
So what I've turned in today, actually, was for last year.
right, yeah, you're always a year behind.
Yeah, and it's just, there's like 5 names.
Yeah.
And I know all of them, I know where they work, it was easy. This year, we'll have
Right.
to, because I have at least one.
Sure.
that
But
I
that's
can make
something
sure.
you'll have to keep up with, since he don't.
Well, like I said,
You don't put it in CADIS.
ours will kick it out. You
Right.
can't add somebody if
they're
they're already
already
at
in
another department, full-time.
And maybe they'll come up with something.
I mean, surely
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
think they're
built
still
in
trying to figure
somehow.
out how they want to
Yeah,
do it.
they
I
need
just
to,
don't know
they
why they
should
didn't
have
roll
something.
y'all into a CADIS too. That's
I
a state
don't-
program.
I know.
And fire and police are in it, because that's what, yeah. So
would've
I don't
been
know why
easy.
they would've just said, okay, we're adding EMS to it.
Sounds like an easy answer, doesn't it?
It's too much common sense,
Nothing's
Come on,
ever
thing.
easy.
Okay, but that's fine, as long as it didn't, change anything else, then we carry
Not
on.
that I'm
strong.
aware of.
Okay.
Shouldn't.
I just had an employee ask me,
Oh,
I'll make sure, and so I made sure.
That don't affect them going to school. No. That's just the accumulation of the 40 hours
Well-
in-service training. That's,
The way his question was, now that he's getting that money, does he have to pay himself?
oh, no.
For
no,
these
no,
classes that he goes to.
No, that's
And I
still
was pretty
what
sure-
we all decided for.
Right.
Paying for school, that does not affect it.
Right.
No.
And so I just told him I would get clarification, so.
Now, how are y'all's getting there? Are they coming direct to the people, or are they coming here and then getting
the
checked?
last I
Ours-
heard,
Ours get checked from here.
yeah, comes to budget and finance.
Comes to budget.
and right,
Budget then cuts the check and sends it to you.
that's the last I heard,
I got you.
subject to change.
that'll work.
All right, that's all I
Anything
have.
else?
Only question, it'll be for next time, just, seeing the update on the ambulance, the rigs and, the purchase and all that stuff, where we're sitting with all that and the delays that previously happened, and just kinda I know we don't have to look at the numbers tonight, but just, I know that's something that.
Yeah, and I'll,
We need to,
next meeting we'll
yeah, get
cover
through.
what, but I mean, it's just a matter of finding the people who will approve to say, yes, we'll spend money to buy an ambulance.
I guess we just don't wanna get caught in a bind, you know?
No, but, of course, now they're all into the next budget, it comes out in February is when we have to do next year's budget. And so I've got to make them understand, no, I need to go ahead and get that money in this year's budget, so I can get that order placed. It won't be spent till 2 budgets from now, but I need it set aside. So, but we can do that next meeting.
In case something comes up and they do get them out.
Yeah, by some chance chassis start flowing sooner.
Right. Okay. Everybody good? Nobody has anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Well, before we adjourn, we can
we're
hear her
done.
little meeting, her little,
Yeah, we're done. Hey, thanks, Mary Ann, for showing up.
we appreciate you.
Everything looked good. so-
Obviously, I got the memo to everybody but you, didn't I? Oh, you got it to her? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so mark me, I was here, okay?
You were here.
I do my quarterly telling.
I got you here.
Yeah.
Is everything looking good?
I would not know, I've got Frank, you know, bid after bid, great bid. I mean, I don't know, they're just, you know how many projects are going right now.
But EMS,
The EMS part, we're good.
EMS is good. I even had a thing, do you want it, Lori?
Yeah, pass it around.
I'm telling you, still have like $100,000 left in the money.
ARP,
Yeah,
yeah, which we want to use to buy an ambulance.
got 110.
Okay. If you want to sign,
No, I mean, it's fine.
okay.
I just didn't realize. I know you said you had some at 5:30, but
But yeah, so we've got that 110, I'm gonna need probably another 100 to buy an ambulance. How do I go about getting that second 100?
Write a check.
Well, she writes the checks.
Just write a check. It's
are
okay.
you off?
No, they're all.
We're still in meeting.
Okay, later.
We'll discuss it later, but that's where we're at,
So
is,
put that on did I give you capital projects form in your packet?
I remember seeing one.
No.
In your budget packet?
Okay, I'll.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it.
Oh, in the budget packet. I thought you
Yeah,
was
it
talking about-
says, it's got like capital equipment, whatever, and it's got the 700 accounts and what each of them
It
are.
should be,
It may be not,
yeah,
because it'd be the last page.
yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't know. I tried certain people, I didn't give one to.
Okay.
Certain people I told, don't send me a stack of paperwork, I don't want it. Bring it to budget if I did. I don't care what you do. How much money you want? It's like, letting you go. Want you.
So, well, good. Got any questions, any more questions you want to ask Mary Ellen?
I do have a budget amendment that'll be on the agenda. That's just reconciling, you know, that insurance and all that.
Okay.
Get the check for that.
All right. Everybody good? If we're good, I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion adjourned.
Second?
Second.
Motion second. Appreciate you being here, kid.
Yeah.
All right,
Squeak
under
the wire.
yeah. All right, hold on. Everybody cut your mics off and I'll cut